Get your paper and pens ready, folks. Because this is a Lindsey Williams hit. He said, you keep looking at the derivatives. And when you start to see cracks in the derivatives, is what he said, and you start to hear these stories on the mainstream news about derivatives and issues with derivatives, it's getting close to the big collapse. Here's one right out of Lindsey Williams' book, precisely of what he said to look for. Except he said that a while ago, whereas this just came out yesterday. Last week, following documentation from Deutsche Bank and Nomura, it became clear that Italy's Monte Paschi BMPS bank, the oldest bank in the world, by the way, has engaged in derivatives with the German and Japanese banks in order to save itself during the financial crisis. Oh, it gets worse. Or not worse, it gets better. Not just that. Wait till you hear how they cook the books. The derivatives, according to Bloomberg, were done off-market. And if you see this little dirt mark on my thumb, it's roofing tar. I was just removing some solar panels and re-drilling some stuff so the roof doesn't leak, because I got to take the solar panels to Tennessee next week when we move. So if you see me pointing and you're like, oh, dang, Jason, why don't you wash your freaking hands? You ain't washing off roofing tar. It just has to peel off when it gets hardened like tomorrow. Anyways, the derivatives, according to Bloomberg, were done off-market and allowed the booking of large upfront gains, which covered the losses that the bank faced as European liquidity dried up completely. The offsetting losses that it robbed Peter to pay Paul real quick back in 2008, that kind of time frame. The offsetting losses are now coming due. Today, amid growing outcry over the deal, the former head of BMPS has resigned. Oh, interesting. Bloomberg reports that Giuseppe, or is that Giuseppe Musari, now Italy's top banking lobbyist, which was chairman of that bank during the derivative deal period. Imagine that. BMPS shares were halted after plunging dramatically, as investors are still unclear of the extent of losses it faces on those derivatives. Trading was halted by the exchange because it fell off a cliff. Imagine that. If that was not enough chicanery, there is a twist in that none other than Mario Draghi, as director of the Bank of Italy, would have had to vet the other guy, Giuseppe, and his bank's regulated books. So how did it escape if it's a regulated bookkeeping? If the bookkeeping is regulated, regulators are looking. How could this massive under-the-table derivatives exchange take place? And nobody knew about it until right now. Until the market fell off a cliff today, no one knew about it. Oh, that's right. The guy's resigning. Never mind. So it says there's a twist in that none other than Mario Draghi, as director of the Bank of Italy, would have had to vet the other guy, Giuseppe, and his bank's regulated books during that period, as BMPS accumulated what is obviously undocumented derivatives positions to intentionally obscure losses, cooking the books. Has anyone gone to jail? If you cooked your books in any kind of accounting scheme at a normal, bozo, barely making money business in this country, barely enough to pay yourself, you would get thrown in prison for cooking your books. Federal penitentiary, buddy. These guys, they get promoted. He used to be the head of Italy's bank. Now he's the big EU guy. Mario Draghi. Oh, big shot. Unelected official. How's that working out for you? Once again, years later, it seems the truth comes out, and of course, we would expect no one to go to jail. And the lying in Europe, then and now, continues unabated, as the reality of the financial system health remains hidden from view. If this one bank, the oldest bank in the world, had to get into the derivatives market to get some money right now, back in '08 or so, to clear up the mess, and then just obscure these massive losses, and we'll just deal with that crap later. And this guy's resigning, so you know it's fixing to happen now. How many other banks do you think are also into the derivatives market, also obscuring unfathomable losses, enough losses to destroy the entire company, bankrupt tomorrow kind of thing? You think this is the only bank? Another large bank? Again, the oldest in the world? You don't suppose. Yep, another day, more reality. So, got a couple more videos to do, I believe. Take care.